coming at you from the top. Oh no, no, he won't stop. Thalmor Radio, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Thalmor Radio.
Thalmor Radio.
All right, so I've already been out here
Today
for like 2 minutes.
It's Friday.
Thank you. Sorry, Greta. It's actually Saturday, but thank you, sweetheart, for trying to remind us what today was. I've already been out here for 2 minutes, and I'm already more cold than I care to be. I'm going to go get my gloves, especially because I have voice activity on and not push to talk. So, okay, went ready. I'm just going to ignore the fucking bar at the top because it keeps lying to me and saying that my connection's bad when people keep saying I'm good. So I don't know. Grab a shovel and pickaxe, probably not a bad idea. Welcome everyone to the bonus episode of Thalmor Radio, doing it for the Orbis report. I was asked to do this by Borg. I was happy to do it. I'm always happy to do bonus episodes. I do enjoy doing the show. I don't have a lot to talk about, but I can find some stuff to bullshit about, and I hope to also be able to voice chat with Borg and Pheonyx some, so that's good. I was going to have Historia on last night. In fact, Historia was the whole reason why I made the show early at 6 instead of 9. But his microphone was really bad. He finally got another microphone today, and we talked a little bit, about 4 minutes. And Historia confirmed something very interesting, which is that during the show last night, I thought I heard him say he was from Syria. As it turns out, people thought, oh, maybe he's from like Serbia. No, he's in Syria. He's somewhere in Syria. I don't know where. I wasn't able to ask specifics, but he is in Syria. He described himself as being about 60% safe. I did not manage to ask him if he fought for the Free Syrian Army yet. I will later. So that's pretty interesting. He wanted on the show to talk about his politics and war news thing, but I find it interesting to talk to a young Syrian guy. Because for those who don't know, which should be, I think, 0 of you, Syria is in this big civil war that's like the government versus the rebels versus the jihadis versus the Turks versus the Americans. It's kind of all over the place, and some sides overlap, funny enough. So, I thought that was interesting. Historia is not coming on because he is 8 hours ahead of me. It is 4. I can't do math. It's about 5 a.m. where he's at right now. So it's early in the morning. He is probably asleep, or sleeping as much as he can between rocket fire. I want to guess he's probably in Damascus or something, because Damascus is but the only place in Syria. Well, I don't know. A lot of Syria is kind of quiet. Assad's pretty much won the war, I think. What's going on in Syria? I think the war's still going on, but he did me a few minutes ago. Let me ask if he's awake. Yeah. Ask him if he can come on. So, there were a bunch of very little things that happened over the past week, and I didn't cover them last night because I wanted some stuff to talk about today. So, I believe it was Borg who brought it up. There's apparently a $1 billion bounty on someone. Does anybody know anything about that? And the reason for that, Michael Jordan, who says, first article I saw about Syria is about Biden. Just a couple days ago, after Biden took over, a new American convoy entered Syria. That's what that's about. Blackbird. Okay. I could not find a $1 billion bounty unless it's cumulative. The highest I saw was for like $100 million. It was posted on the forums. I've missed this completely then. Okay. So let me exit out Discord. Let me go find this thing. What section of the forums is it on? It's not typical bounty. I don't know how legit it is. Fake bounty. Okay. Conflicting information here in the chat. Conflicting information. Yeah, post the link. I will evaluate this. So it's like Pheonyx posting a 1 billion bounty found the hedge money leader. Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you. Thank you, guy who posted it. Thursday, the one known as Blackbeard has committed a horrendous crime of identity theft. His arrogance in thinking he can take what is mine. Damn. What belonged to me before he even existed cannot go unpunished. The name Blackie is mine alone, and will always belong to me long after death. So I am hereby placing a 1 billion bounty on Blackbeard's head, which will be paid out to the person group who brings every one of his cities to at least 1K infrastructure. That's a low ball. Like, okay. Any colluding with Rothschild's family and or Blackbird regarding this will void you of said bounty. Okay, that makes sense. If Blackbeard resorts to destroying his own infrastructure, then to receive the bounty, you must keep him at least 1K infrastructure for 2 weeks. Damn, I don't know. I might try to get this bounty myself because, like, that's easy to bring someone to 1K infra. That's actually a lot of money to bring someone that low down. Like you can bring a city to 1,000 infra with like one nuke, even a big city. It might be, well, he says group, Mr. C, so I would assume it'd have to be split. I don't know. I might want to. What alliance is Blackbeard in? Is he part of? Is he part of TAFE? Rothschilds. Okay. Okay. I don't think the Rothschilds is strong. Okay, fuck this. Instead of just asking you guys everything, how about I actually go into the game and look here? So who is I'm not looking at Discord, by the way. I'm looking at who is Rothschild's allied to? Let me look at this. Okay, login successful. Here's your 500,000. Thank you, game, for the free money for logging in. Alliances. Search Rothschild. Go. Rothschild family. All right, so how? Oh, fuck it! I clicked the wrong button. I'm so bad at this. Okay, Rothschild family. Admission by invite only. Dang. Okay, so Blackbird is the leader of the Rothschild. There's only 5 of them. Who are they allied to? Come on. Oh, the Commonwealth and Church of Adam. Oh, that's nothing. Oh yeah. Well, this is doable. Okay, who wants to help me fight? Who wants to help me collect this bounty? I think this is doable. I'll find someone in MPO too. This is doable. All right. $1 billion ain't even that much, really, when you think about it. That's like, it's like 30 days for me. The bounty probably is a bit. I haven't even seen who, like, the guy who made the forum thread, but I assume it's like, he probably had like 3 cities or something. Yeah, 1 billion is nothing. All right, so that's the 1 billion bounty. What happened with Imperium? Their gov left to make a new alliance, and then Imperium merged into Terminus Est. Is that what happened? I think I read that earlier. Yes. Okay. So Imperium's gov split off A guy named Vader was really mad about it. That's something to be mad about, to be honest. Is your entire gov leaving to make a new alliance? Like that's out of all the things to get mad about, I think that's worth it. Someone leaked. What did they leak? Were the leaks any interesting? They leaked the merge announcement. I think the split happened after the merge with Tess was decided, so it probably connected Gov leaving because of the merge. Um, so that raises the question: did they vote on the merge? Did Vader or whoever else decide to do the merge without consulting Gov? Because back when I had a micro in 2015 called the Even Star Empire, and I agreed with another micro called Odd Squad to merge into them, but I didn't ask like the rest of my gov about it, which was just like two people, and I got cooped over it. So like, yeah, you need to talk to your people about doing merges, which seems obvious, but I was really stupid because I was leading a micro, and micro leader, well, Imperium ain't a micro, so yeah, cooped. I pronounce it cooped. Is that wrong? Is it cooed? Could you expect me to pronounce words correctly? You're expecting too much of me here to expect correct pronunciations. What do you think this is? Okay, so that's coop is pronounced coo. Yeah, it is. I got the P does not exist. There is no P. I don't expect you to pronounce it right. I expect to make fun of you for not pronouncing it right. Yeah. Expecting a Kentuckian to pronounce French words. Well, wait a minute. No, Louisville. Louisville is named after King Louis, and people from Louisville get really mad when you don't pronounce it right. So never mind. Yeah, Kentuckians should be able to pronounce French words. I'm just dumb. So which I'm not from Louisville, and I get me and my family, we went to Vegas in 2013, and we flew back in on a Friday. And okay, this was silly. We went for a week. We flew in like Sunday, Monday. We flew back out Friday, Saturday, right? And of course, this was in like December. So we left. We were all dressed warm. We were in a literal desert for a week, and like we flew back in wearing like shorts and t-shirts, right? And none of us thought to put on regular clothes on the way back in. So we had to walk out of the airport back to our car with it was like 20 degrees outside. That was miserable. But we flew back in from Vegas to the international airport in Louisville, and the flight attendant was like, "Oh, we are now approaching Louisville," and like a third of the flight was like, "No, it's Louisville, you stupid bitch," and that was really funny. Oh man, Louisville, yeah. Don't pronounce it Louisville. Ah man. All right. So I talked about the $1 billion bounty. I talked about the Imperium stuff. I have nothing to say about the Imperium stuff. Really. Anything else? I think there were some other like little things here. You are correct, Mr. C. It is named after King Louis. That Arctic has posted the itinerary, Jaden. It is the most bare bones itinerary we've had yet, but there's just not much to talk about. I am relying on you guys to give me stuff to talk about because very little has talked about. There's a ODP between MPO and YAR. That's interesting, but I think that makes sense. The coal mines and Pinion signed the treaty. Okay. I don't know who the new TKR prod is. I don't know what's TO, VS Pro, Bucks. I don't know much about any of these. Talk about KT joining Quack. This was covered last night. Um, I'm not gonna go back over it. I already talked about, oh, is KT part of Quack? KT is not part of Quack. There is no working relationship with anyone in Quack. There probably won't be for a very long time. I think the Syndicate doesn't like us right now. I think Shiho is fine, but I think Justin and Adam aren't happy with us. I know Partisan ain't happy with us. I would imagine Leopold isn't no, it's not happening. Half of TKR, like if you go to the average TKR member and are like, hey, what do you think of Knights Templar? They probably still think we're evil Nazis, so that's probably not going to work. Like, there's no working relationship with Quack. So, whatever. Thalmor's in Quack High Gov chats. Oh, man. KT was actually banned from joining Quack. I don't know if Dryad is serious or shitposting with that one. Did that actually happen? Did someone in Quack say, like, no, KT's never a part of us? Partisan said it on Ron. Well, Partisan is like, he's literally no longer in Gov. So I'm not sure how serious I would take that. Thalmor's in Quack high thigh chats. Now that's interesting. Partisan always being Gov? Maybe. Partisan has retired, I think, several times before. And like I said last night on my show, like, big names like Partisan, when they resign or retire from Gov, they don't actually, like, retire or resign. Like, they still do something. Like, even I'm no longer part of KT Gov, but I still will do, like, little things here and there. That's just how it is. Advisor, nothing else. Exactly, Lord Tyrion. There will always be something. Same with Adrian, like Doulos is saying. Same with Adrian. Big names don't quit. Even if they leave the alliance, they still might do something for the previous alliance. It's just how it is. Due to leaks from tests, it also resulted in us not taking the merger kind-hearted. What do you mean, Captain Conrad Crunch? Every time I leave the coal mines, I guess, to make tools and fix everything. Nokia, I'm going to propose something, and don't take this the wrong way, but, like, it seems like, Nokia, you want to get away from the coal mines. It seems like you keep trying to leave, and they keep pulling you back in. It's like Silvio from The Sopranos. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me right back in. Same thing, like, Nokia, listen. Like, if the coal mines cannot survive without you, what was the last thing you guys heard? Hello? Into Nokia. Okay. Okay, Nokia. Nokia, don't take this the wrong way. But it seems like you want to get away from the coal mines. Get away from the coal mines. Leave, and if they cannot survive without you, let them die. Do what makes you happy. You've bent over backwards for the coal mines a lot. They need to stand on their own. They need to fix themselves, okay? Do what makes you happy, Nokia. Uh-oh. No one's type. Okay. We're talking about today. The only thing I almost left for got canceled, and like 9% bucks, and he's going to place for me anyways. Nokia, rejoin KT. Rejoin KT. We will take you back. Become a Templar. Return to Monkey. Horsecock might hate you. He does hate you. But, like, I think it's just him. You would be okay in KT. Just be a good member, which I think you're capable of, and it will be fine. They did have Mars join. Exactly. Mars has actually done a good job in KT. I know there was beef between me and Mars, but that's been smoothed over now. I think Mars is cool again. Mars is fine. I might actually have Mars back on my show. That's how much that has like healed over. Horsecock is the leader of KT. He's been playing since 2017. He left for like 9 months or something. He left in April, May of last year, but he's returned. Enough to have a baby. Who is Mars? Mars, I think he was leader of ARG. He has his own community called Morningstar. Um, then I think he was back in ARG, and now he's in KT. Enough to have a baby. Oh, man. All right. So there was the $1 billion bounty. Gosh, I don't know. Marcelo journey to Pantheon and other places. Yeah, that is right. He did get around some. I don't think Mars is German. I think he's in an Eastern European country though. I don't remember which ones. Yeah, Romania. Yeah, okay, you did just say it. Ah, all right. All right, one more time. Anything in politics and war to talk about, or can I find something in real life to talk about? There's no politics though. I'm no politics. Politics bad. Game updates. Yeah, I can go over game updates. Prefontaine was on my show last night, and as a lot of people know, Prefontaine is very involved with game development. And Prefontaine shared some coming updates. One being that once a nation is naval blockaded, um, it will unlock a new kind of like naval attack that can destroy extra improvements. There's luxury resources coming. I think there's like some other little stuff that can like make your nation a certain way. I think perks are coming as well. Those are a bit more further off. I think a few other little things. Nothing I exactly remember. Oh yeah, Kino is back. Kino, it has returned. I think it's just a VIP thing though. Um, but Kino, you can now gamble all of your money away. Gamble all of your money away right now. If you need more money, sell your infra and gamble with that and try to make all the money you lost back. You can do it. It's fun. Go play Kino. If you need a credit for VIP, DM me and I'll give you a credit. But you have to play Kino. That's how the deal is going to work. Wagered one net payout. Yeah, that's a good it's a good Kino game. You're bankrupt, so you can't play Kino. Sell your infra. You probably have some land or some infrastructure. Sell it and get more money to play Kino with. All that matters now is that as many people as possible play Kino. That's it. Your infra is your baby? No. Kino is your baby, and it needs money, cash wagered to continue. Go play Kino. It is an investment, just like Sig said. If you play Kino long enough, just statistically speaking, you're guaranteed to win once. Therefore, you just keep playing. Rather play baseball, play baseball to get money to wager on Keno. There you go. You can sell infra, you can sell land, you can play baseball, you can get the 500,000 login bonus. There's no reason why all of you cannot go and play Keno every day indefinitely. Frago lifestyle. Oh man. Yeah, where's the link to Kino? Thalmor, any war opportunities? There is none. The nap is nap game too strong. Ain't none happen. Which as soon as the nap ends, I don't think another global will begin. I don't think we'll see another global till later in the year, like much later. Yes, Kratos, but that's how gambling works in general. More people will lose more money than people will gain. Elijah wins. Oh wow, $250 million in wealth has been lost. Funny. Okay, so wealth is destroyed through Kino. How else is wealth destroyed? I guess when military units are lost, right? And infra is lost, that destroys wealth. Why are people talking about Elijah? Did anything interesting happen with Elijah? That's okay, Michael Jordan. You can blame me for the losses. It's fine. I am Elijah. Elijah won 10 billion. Oh, that is right. He did, didn't he? Why Buck declared on Yar? Bark is just a retard. Who knows why he does anything? To be honest. So I want to talk about the Adrian thing that got brought up at the beginning of the show. So Adrian left TKR or the offshore bank yesterday as like just to bounce the bank or whatever. Right? Just normal gov stuff because Adrian is still gov. And there was this running joke in KT which was now that Adrian is not in an alliance, she sits in none because she's not in an alliance. Do we raid her now? And that was a big point of contention. Like every like Denison, Dryad, Horsecock, they were all like sweating bullets on the computer. Like, do we go in? Do we do it? Do we press declare war? And ultimately, like it didn't happen. I think it was Denison who got like cold feet, and ultimately they didn't do anything. But it can't if Adrian waited like a few more minutes before she joined an alliance, she like they would have declared. No, we were about to go. Yeah, if she waited a bit longer, they would have went in. But she joined an alliance and that ended it. But it would have been really funny if they did declare. Yeah. All right. What else? Goodness. I haven't been doing anything. I make ammo and food and I sell it and I make like 30 million a day because of it. I think I can get CD 30 next month. So that's pretty dope. Actually, yes, Kratos. I'm having Pheonyx and Borg on. Actually, you know what, Borg, do you want to come on now? Borg said he could voice chat a little bit, so maybe I can talk to him some. Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can hear you.
How's it going?
Yeah, going all right. I don't know. It's warm here.
So, question one: are you a robot in real life?
Maybe. I mean, I don't sound like one, do I? Which means I can at least emulate a human fairly well.
But that's exactly the point. You can emulate one. I mean, the technology has gotten pretty good. So by voice alone, I don't think that's convincing.
Actually, I don't think the technology is well enough to have like proper conversations with a computer, though.
True. Okay, you got that going for you then. So, Borg, when did you first join politics and war exactly? What's your journey through this game been?
I guess a year ago. I know I saw an ad or something. Joined the game. Got spammed by recruitment messages, and then I guess the NPO recruitment message was the most appealing at the time because it looked professional. I didn't know what I was doing. I joined them for a bit.
What year was this?
Just started last year, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, it was kind of boring there. I saw that there's an API or whatever for the game. So I started working on my bot and did some banking stuff or whatever. And then I got to know Sri Lanka and Titan, and we started chatting. And eventually I left before the whole collapse of the House of Cards and NPO and whatever. And we made the Blitzers, which was a pirate alliance. And none of us really knew what we were doing. But I enjoyed it because I got to learn as we went. And but anyway, the Blitzers eventually disbanded because we got raided by the Lost Empire, and we didn't really have much protection there. And then after that, we made Air 4 with Base Bond. And
Gotcha.
so Base Bond and I were co-leader, and I guess you sort of know the rest.
Yeah. So are you like a programmer by trade in real life? Because it seems like tech stuff is where you really that's your main area.
Yeah, a bit part time. I'm studying computer science.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I have an interest in IT stuff and programming, but I don't think getting a formal like university education is the most efficient way to go about learning how to do all that nerd
learn
stuff
on your own.
Yeah.
So there are lots of oops.
Would you know any good like online sources to learn just the fundamentals, the most basic stuff?
I mean, it depends how. Like I learned a bit of programming in high school, and then I did in high school a university course for mobile development there. So I already sort of had a foundation.
Yeah.
And if you have a foundation, then you can just like use Stack Overflow or basically the official documentation and learn from that. There, for specific programming languages, there might be official tutorial sites. There's like Code Academy. I haven't used it, but I think it's, I mean, it does well. It gets mentioned a lot. Were there specific languages you wanted to learn? I think starting with Python or JavaScript is probably the easiest.
Gotcha. Throughout your experience learning computer science, like, can you share like one really funny or interesting fact about the process?
Make a lot of mistakes, and code never works on your first try, and you think it's like some super complicated problem, and it's usually just some really dumb mistake that you made. I don't know.
Yeah, like you didn't include a right parentheses somewhere, right?
Yeah. Missing a semicolon or a bracket. Like you've got this if statement or whatever, and you miss the brackets there, and so it's just bypassing it or something, you know.
So how hard is it?
Sorry.
How hard would it be to program something like politics and war, from what you know of how it all works?
It would be a lot of time investment. It's not technically difficult, I would say. Like there's no hard graphics or really all that complex mechanics, but I mean, it's a fairly complete game, and it would probably take a lot of time investment to do it, if that makes sense.
What's an example of a hard graphic?
Graphics, well, like it's just a clicker browser game with buttons and stuff. Like there's no 3D or 2D graphics or animations and stuff. So that's what I mean.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the actual mechanics are fairly simple. So like you learn HTML, CSS, PHP. I mean, Alex, he started it in high school or whatever. So that's the kind of experience he had when starting off. So it
Yeah,
takes
gotcha.
a lot of dedication, I guess, and a lot of time. Not all that much technical experience to start making a game like that.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, guys, for the breathing noises. It's just because, like I said, I got the voice activity instead of push to talk. So you're just gonna. I'll move the microwave some when I'm not talking. But so Borg, you run Arrow 404, correct? You're the leader, I think.
Oh no, not this again. Base Bond is the leader. I used to be leader, but I stepped down.
Oh, what do you do now? Or are you just a member?
Tech and various things depending on what's needed.
Gotcha. How does tech play into how Arrow 404 is run?
Basically every department. It's like everywhere.
So all the
Less so
processes
FA, but
are automated.
pardon?
Less so FA. So I guess everything's just kind of automated then for people to do.
Yes, I mean wars can be. Global War was basically on autopilot. You have the bot handing out targets and just people going in and attacking, but that's because it's a dog pile. You can do that.
I know when we was fighting the last global, I kept getting I kept getting one message every day from some random Air 44 nation it was spy targets.
Yep. And you know what I do for that? Just have some random gov member press a button each day.
How hard was it to program the spy bot thing that tells all these people, okay, this is what you do here, do this?
Well, you had to figure out the formula for spies, which was mostly straightforward. There's a formula for another thing on the wiki for the spies, and basically reverse that and then do actual testing because it was wrong, and correct it a bit. And then you have to find the endpoint or whatever for the actual spy count. And you know how it says like 50% chance of success or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
You need to then do a binary search on that to find the actual spy number. I mean, this isn't all that complicated if you have some experience, if you've done a bit of computer science or something. And from that, then once you know all the spy counts, you can basically just assign it based on your member spy counts and the enemy spy counts. And then using the API or whatever to send the messages.
Gotcha. So, who's the secret hedge money leader?
No comment.
No comment.
Dryad.
Really? Dryad. What's the origin behind the meme of the secret hedge money leader? Can someone explain that to me? Borg, do you know the story?
Sweet Ronnie D made some post on the forums, and then it was basically pointing at something the hedge money leader said about talking to Swamp about some potential agreement against Quack, which I guess the agreement fell through according to what was said on forums. And then Partisan or someone from Quack ran with that and posted ads, and then Pheonyx made a bunch of posts on the forums trying to figure out who said what, and I guess he's still on it.
Gotcha. Well, that's Pheonyx. He's on the case. He's going to find the truth. And Borg is just silent at that statement. So, when you created Era 404 with Base Spawn, you guys signed into.
And
Did you
Titan
guys
and
immediately?
Shrink and whatever.
Did you guys sign into Hedge like pretty much immediately? I think you did, didn't you?
No, we were signed with Terminus Est starting off. The same protector we had with Blitzes, but then we signed with Children of the Light, who at the time I think were signed to the Commonwealth. No, they were signed to Test as well, I think. And then there was the whole Odin Bank drama or whatever with Children of the Light and the Commonwealth. And so they sort of split up. And we as an alliance decided to end up joining Hedge instead of staying with Terminus Est. Because, we engaged a lot better with Children of the Light. So
I ask because the actual question I want to get to was there any kind of philosophies that guided Arrow 404 to Hedge? Because I think at one point the idea behind Hedge was to be, its own thing. So I didn't know if maybe Arrow 404 also wanted to pursue a thing where they're kind of separate from Rose and the Syndicate.
Well, we didn't have any alignment to any particular sphere at that point. We were a brand new alliance, and I hadn't really played the game for very long, so it was mostly just a logical step. We had signed a protectorate with Children of the Light. We preferred them over Terminus Est, and then we decided to pursue that.
Gotcha. Okay. That's kind of about it for me at the top of my head. Are you open to people asking you questions from the audience?
Sure.
Do any of you guys have any kind of questions for Borg? Several people are typing.
Because I suck at foreign affairs and I don't like the responsibilities of running an alliance.
Yeah, foreign affairs, it's a rough game, and you either have the skills to manage it or you don't. I got burned really badly in 2017. People. How do you end up annoying people? You must look an annoying person.
No. Well, if I'm just talking to you now, there's no conflict or whatever to work out, and so we can get along. But if there's some drama or some conflict, I suck at negotiating, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah. How do you make Kim Jong-Pork active and do his job as leader? What? I don't know. It's for him to figure out on his own. No. Do you agree that MATLAB is the best programming language? No. I've used it a bit for school, but I prefer Java, which is what I wrote the bot in. Whatever happened to the rating line you were going to run? Well, I was running blitzers for a while, and that ended up disbanding. I wanted to, I guess, be a part of some other rating alliance in the future, but I'm sort of tied to 404, so that's not going to happen unless the alliance ends up disbanding. Anyway, rating is fun, and I enjoyed it. Just can't do that and everything else at the same time. Anything to add, Thalmor?
No, Borg,
what's your goal as an alliance? I guess the top 10 and be strong.
Well, thank you, Borg, for
enjoy the game, I guess, is my personal goal.
Thank you, Borg, for coming on and talking. Sorry, this little interview was kind of all over the place. As usual, I didn't prepare beforehand.
Yeah.
Do you voice chat often?
Not that often. Why?
I only ask because I haven't seen you voice chat a whole lot.
Ah.
But yeah, thanks for breaking the norm to talk to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Is Pheonyx coming on?
Yeah, I was actually just about to ask Pheonyx if he was ready to hop on, and I want to talk to him now. Then after I talk to him, I think I'll be ready to end the show. Pheonyx, you there? He's in voice chat. I'm ready. Oh, he's ready. Come on, Pheonyx.
Oh yeah, Zig wants to know why we're here instead of, I guess, Thalmor. And the answer is that Mondeform, or whatever, he has a news server, and I guess this is a way to get publicity by having people come over. It's the same reason why you went to Taith and some other servers for some bonus shows.
I'm happy
So
to do
just
bonuses for any reason, but yeah, I think that's the main thing. Is I'm asked them to promote a server. So I was asked.
Yeah, I do some news stuff here occasionally.
Kratos, yeah, I asked if it was you just because I remember he was part of KT. And I liked it when he was part of KT, Kratos. I just didn't remember. Like, I didn't know if it was you or another guy named Kratos. Sorry for interrupting, Borg. I just want to get that. You can say what you was going to say.
Tyrion asked if new servers are profitable. I think if you run a major one like Royal Orbis News, it is. Something like this, probably not. Thalmor Radio, probably not profitable either. So, yeah. But people enjoy it, so, yeah.
It's hard to monetize the thing because I don't think people are willing to. I don't think people are really willing to pay money for news stuff. I know the not KT, Thalmoria can be monetized because I do have like an advertising channel. But I don't get any offers to advertise on the. So I think it is kind of hard to monetize. Someone asked, I'm trying to remember who it was, Prodigem, who asked if is Thalmor Radio on something else. I posted the invite to Thalmoria, which is where the show usually is. Actually, it always is every Friday at 9 p.m. You should advertise them on air. Well, I had a guy named Lenny, approach me because he wanted to advertise his bank, but I asked him some questions because I don't want to just shell for money. If anyone wanted to advertise, I would want to be able to put confidence in what was being advertised. And he didn't answer any of my questions, so I didn't think he was that serious. And if he can't be bothered to answer a few questions, he probably can't be bothered to do a good job with his bank. So I just let that lead die. Advertising would be good for like commercial stuff. So like a politics and war bank, like someone who wants to do graphics or music kind of stuff or whatever. But there isn't a whole lot of that. Can someone go ahead and unmute Pheonyx so I can talk to him some? I think I'm ready to go ahead and talk to him. He should be able to unmute himself. Gotcha, Borg. Pheonyx.
There. Okay. Now I can talk.
Hey, how's it going, bud?
I'm okay. So,
That's
I had what you're gonna say.
Borg explained it earlier, but I want to hear from you. Who do you think the secret hedge money leader is?
I have no clue. I mean, all I know is somebody who I trust said it might be from Children of the Light. But you know what I was thinking? I think it was Borg who mentioned it yesterday. He said, well, if Tyrion asked, like hedge money, they might tell him, and here Tyrion's right here. I mean, I don't know if what does he have to do? A formal request or something? But I just thought I'd put that out there. What do you think, Tyrion?
Tyrion, will you submit the request to ask who the secret HM leader is?
Did you get the memo? I think he says he doesn't want to bother, but I mean, I just thought because I'm not sure. So I thought I'd ask. Pheonyx and Sherlock Holmes, yeah, but I don't have the clout. No, he's good. See, he's good. Why I think we're gonna have to wait till I don't know. People are just reveal it out of boredom or something. So yeah.
Nokia wants to speak. Borg, I don't mean to bother you, but can you go ahead and unmute Nokia too, if he's server muted? I'm willing to also hear him, what he has to say on this issue.
Tell you, I know. Yeah, no, I mean, Tyrion, if you knew, at least I could know that somebody, on our side of the fence actually found out. But yeah.
All right, Nokia, who's the secret hedge money leader?
You know what, Thalmor? I'm gonna have to say it was you the whole time. You
It was me. Oh no. Oh well, I have no defense. You can suspect me if you want, I guess.
There you go.
I know.
Obviously, I'm not going to admit it. If
There
I
you
am.
go. The thing is, it doesn't even matter who the HM leader is. It's really who is their source, right? Because the HM leader was not part of Swan, so they could have misinterpreted just like Ronnie did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Kratos says I irritate. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess I put it out there too much, but I still think my point is good, even if I did irritate a lot of people.
I mean, like, I don't think it's so much that you irritated a lot of people by making the accusation. I think it's the fact that if anyone was to mention anyone related to your overall sphere of influence, you would instantly shoot it down and not even consider the fact.
That's not
I
true.
just want to say that I think Tyrion could be very clever if he feels like it.
That's just
He's what picks my fucking cereal in the morning.
no. Here's the thing about Tyrion. He was willing to talk to me at length. He asked questions that made sense for somebody who really wanted to find out. Nobody else cared, right? Right, Tyrion? I mean, you asked a whole bunch of questions. Like he wanted to know who the HM leader was, things like that. I mean, if he had something to hide, he would have not talked to me like that. That's my logic.
So Pheonyx, I was actually wondering, are you actually Gov or just a member?
I'm finally Gov Junior FA in Soldiers of Liberty now. That just recently happened.
Oh, so you're in the same block as Tyrion is now, then, aren't you?
Yeah, by design.
Oh.
Well, actually, no, he wasn't. No, Immortals hadn't yet made a treaty yet. I just joined because TFP.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So now, I don't know. I like. Okay, I still do feel a bit bad about kind of revealing my conversations with Tyrion. I just felt it was so important. This is when the global war was on, and they were accusing Tyrion of lying and TFP of lying, and I was so mad because I was kind of part of that block, and I was like, no. And I felt Tyrion's words vindicated. Like it basically said, no. I mean, he's like the head of Immortals, and look at all the stuff he says, right? So that's why I did.
The issue with the forums is most of the people who respond to them are usually Gov rather than normal members.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
To then argue with people who have been in government positions for years, actually know people in this game who has been in high government positions, low government positions, and or leader positions. So like these people know each other a lot more, or the kind of tricks or nicks that other people would try to do a lot more than you. So to particularly try to put yourself in a position to assume whether everyone is right or wrong is honestly how a lot of people feel that you've done, and it's why I can understand why certain people would hold a grudge against you making a forum post, because you don't appear to be able to see things from their point of view, so they're not going to want to listen.
Well, it wasn't just my point of view, though. It was like I was in some ways I was channeling what Tyrion and Kaz were saying, even if they didn't want me to or whatever. But it was like it had to do with my frustration with the fact that nobody seemed to really give credit to my block, right? And I don't know, my block's quiet, like they don't like saying things, but I certainly did. Look, mate, your way of arguing, putting us your point was bad on some ways. Well, I don't know.
From an alliance perspective, if one of my members are running around and shouting out the rooftop in their government or even a very vocal community member, if it remotely reflects bad or drags my name into it, I not only have to distance myself for FA reasonings because I can't be known as an outlandish or burstable person in a sense. I'm sorry if my English isn't good in describing this particular instance. But for example, I had a government member a while back who kept arguing against our choices in the Ron public chat. And they received several demotions till they received a removal from the alliance for essentially causing both internal issues and letting their grudges with certain people cause very bad relationship issues to a point where the alliance is being put at risk.
Well, I mean, obviously that's what happened in TFP, right? They decided, they couldn't have me in their alliance if I kept on talking in the forums, and that's their choice to make. I did what I thought was right? And I mean, did I go too far? Did I post too many? Yeah, maybe. But at the time, I thought it was right. And then obviously, I haven't posted much in a long time now, so that's changed. And as to why I left, somebody asked. Well, go ahead.
You should try to not associate people you feel are involved with the situation, as it may negatively reflect on their image or the opinion about them and who they associate with to the other people, which could make issues for them down the line.
Okay.
So by trying to push their narrative for them, you're trying to push something that maybe they're not trying to say or evaluate in the public for a good reason. In turn, you could cause them a very rocky standing point later on. So you should probably try to refrain from that, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, obviously I have. Recently, I haven't said much. But yeah, at the time, I just felt it was important, I still feel it's important. I mean, I think the forums is maybe not the best place. So that's why I'm talking on Discord. It seems to be a little bit better. But yeah, I still think it's like, okay, the global war is over, obviously, but the accusations and like, I feel like, okay,
I'm still accused of actions that has been proven false in 2019, just as much as Hal Stark holds a grudge with me from 2017, and some people still hate me from being a member of Empire of Spades in 2014. So, from my standpoint in particular, what I just kind of got to say is like, this is a game where someone's viewpoint is going to vary drastically by who says what, and what points are going to be fought for is going to be by who says what, and it's very block dependent, particularly.
Yeah, but don't you think there's a way? Go ahead.
It's no matter the point you take, it's going to be seen as the opposing party. Swamp Block doesn't agree with what, say, Quack Block says. So Quack Block member is going to argue with Swamp Block members, and it's going to go back and forth. And every time you push the same narrative, not only are you going to start irritating the people around you, but you're going to irritate the other block further about the previous old issue, which all it's going to do is make them regurgitate what they believe, and in turn, there's not a whole lot of actual constructive things going on, just the same people making the same complaints towards each other's face over and over and over, and making a repeating conversation that goes nowhere.
Yeah, okay, I agree to some extent, but there's some things that could break the blocks. For instance, finally finding out the HM leader, right? Because that's like a kind of a neutral source, partially, right? Because they were not Swamp.
If there was a secret HM leader, it'd be an HM leader. It's not, if it's, for one, a secret, so it's not going to be revealed, and for two, it's their leader. So whatever is their leader is up to them. It's not up to you. Doesn't relate to Swamp Block. Doesn't need to relate to Swamp Block.
No, it definitely does.
The closest you're going to get from this is maybe that person was chosen to be the head of an FA conversation, in an effort to remove the multiple FA heads incidences. For example, if you have to go as a block representative to 20 alliances when you could just go to their block representatives, which would make things overall smoother, faster, and easier to get done with. It's a way of management. It's something I feel you're not quite understanding.
No, but okay, but here's the thing. There has to be a truth, right? Either Swamp really was going to attack Quack or it wasn't. It can't be both, right? So it's a matter of going to the sources. So the HM leader's not the source. He had talked to somebody, hopefully in Swamp. Now, if we could ever find out who that was, then we could start doing some confirmations, right? Because, I mean, obviously, Tyrion would know who that is. And there could be like, okay, yeah, maybe it was some alliance other than TFP and Immortals, and they really were thinking about it. Maybe. But
What do you mean by they misconstrued information?
okay, yeah, because here's the thing. A lot of people, including Partisan, think that if Swamp was really, if the HM leader was right that Swamp was going to attack Quack, then Tyrion had to be involved, and that's where I say I don't believe that. I don't like, and that's where it's like the two truths that I could believe is one.
Did you not read the vastly made public embassy chats from the test server that were literally posted on the forums with
Yeah.
the old war declaration?
I read. So you're talking
So
about
I'm gonna explain to you the kind of thing that goes into this form of FA really easily. So this is simple.
all right.
In this situation, for TCW to sign on Swamp Block, Swamp said essentially, you have to drop that hostile thing connected to you. So
Right.
TCW now is in the debatable situation where they have to now judge the previous ally they've held or get a bunch of new beggar allies alternatively. What
Right.
TCW did was look at Tess and essentially say, all right, boys, this is a better thing for us, so we're going to leave you.
Yeah.
Here's the issue with that. Test explicitly made sure it was only tied to TCW because it was trying to be part of TCW's sphere at the time, which means by dropping them, they have no protection, no allies, no significant others to keep them safe in the big bad world of actual alliances. And as someone who has been in the top 50s with no allies, I can tell you just how fast someone's going to want to either raid you, full on blitz you, or just kind of smash your face in because you're the only free thing in the top 50s to actually get hit.
Okay. So
and what it boils down to is Boyce would have used the previous embassy chats to get himself into the only other sphere that he could with those chats.
right.
He is a former pirate. He's a former person who's also known for being supposedly manipulative to ARG government. I'm not entirely sure how this is, but as a former ARG member and someone who talks to a lot of old ARG government, I've heard it's essentially true from some semi-reliable sources.
Right.
And from my situation and what I've seen personally of who Boyce relates to, which is some certain people that are somewhat close to myself. Anyway, he's a plotter. In
Yeah.
this game, you have the plotters and the people who do nothing and the people who try starting stuff for fun. Boyce tries to start essentially wars by finding reason. He
Yeah.
also will use a foreign FA chat from 3 months ago to then secure a treaty when he has lack of a treaty. He used pre-existent talks to build a closer relationship to the syndicate because he was dropped by TCW. The syndicate then used the leaked Sphinx logs as a CB, just the same as this opposing side of Quack did in Global War 14. It's kind of the same thing, different place. Now,
Yeah.
you also run into the fact of Global War 15, supposedly, if people still want to recognize it as a global war, where everyone faked TCW sphere and they got horribly rolled for trying to be semi-aggressive when they're all a bunch of pixel-hugging whales.
So yeah, I fully agree about Boyce. I think he manipulated the situation, and we got
Not quite. In his particular case, Boyce as FA has one job. His
What the
job
fuck is that?
what is what.
Oh, I saw something scurrying around outside. It's too cold for it. Whatever. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and stop here. I want to talk to Pheonyx some. I'll let you guys talk for like 10 minutes, but I'm gonna go ahead. I want to take it back over.
My apologies.
Thanks.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I liked it. Go ahead.
So Pheonyx, what do you think's going to happen when the nap ends?
Oh God, how many months away is that?
April or so.
I have no idea. I just to me the most important thing is to try to I actually want to mend fences. And it's hard to mend fences when people don't agree as to what actually happened, right? And that's why I this was so important, right? But I don't know. It's up to other people, really.
Well, what do you think happened in this last war?
I think I got it right. I think basically what happened was thinks maybe he was interested in some point and maybe going against Quack. Boyce took it to mean they were going to go in December, January, which is what he told Vader. And so then that started the war. And then Ronnie made his comments, which I wouldn't be surprised if it was influenced by the fact that Boyce was already saying it was going to happen. So then maybe Robin is thinking, yeah, I did hear these things about Swamp, like maybe. And so they did it. And what else? That was pretty much the thing. The only piece, like the thing that really is telling to me is Partisan is the one who actually brought up Ronnie's comment. So I think Partisan knows that Boyce's evidence is weak. He knows it, and that's why he latched on to what Ronnie said, because Ronnie, has more credibility. But still, I mean, Ronnie just heard something. He'd never talked to anybody in Swamp, so he's going on this anonymous HM leader. It's like such brittle stuff, right? To me, it's just like the whole thing was rumors, and that's it. But they still believe it, and that's why I want to get to the sources to try to disprove it. Anyway, go ahead. You still there, Thalmor?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, do you think we're going to get right back into a war pretty soon as the nap ends, or do you think it'll be a little bit?
No, I don't think right away. I mean, because I don't know, but it's just like I think it maybe even though Quack may never admit it, I think they kind of learned their lesson. They realized that just because you can attack first, the whole reason they attack first is like, if we don't attack first, we might get destroyed. Better for us to attack. Well, they realized it actually backfired, right? So this time, I think they'll do FA a little before, just trying to make sure that I don't think there's going to be another global war. There might be some skirmish or something, but I think there's going to be more FA to prevent what happened this time. That's what I think.
So do you think there'll never be another global or something?
There might be another one eventually, but I don't think right away. I think they're I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have enough experience in the game.
Gotcha. I want you to go through the top 15 alliances and give me your opinion on them real quick. Do you think you can do that?
Oh gosh, I probably don't even know half of them. Do you know them offhand? I could look them up.
I think if someone could post a screenshot with them, that would be incredibly helpful. We're not going to do top 50. That'd take too long. I'm about ready to close out the show sooner than later. So.
Yeah, I could pull it up here too. Actually, alliances. Here we go. Okay, I got them. So yeah, we got Rose. Cool. Knights Radiant. I'm still annoyed. I think they should do something about. I don't know. I just don't think they did enough to really kind of come to agreement as to what really happened, but whatever. Syndicate, same thing. Immortals are I like them. Pacifists, I like them. Camelot, they seem okay. Camelot, well, same thing. Grumville Bastards, no, because they never revealed HM Leader. Children of Light, same thing. Guardian, same thing. Eclipse, don't really know them. World Task Force, don't know them. Lost Empire, don't know them. Hero 4, same thing. HM. And Farkistan, all right. There you go.
So you're frustrated at Hedge for not revealing the secret leader?
Oh yeah, really frustrated.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you frustrated?
Well, because they could resolve this. As far as I'm concerned, they could fix the whole thing by getting to the source, right? And it's not even HM leader. It's like they could even skip HM leader and say, okay, we're not going to tell you the HM leader, but we're going to tell you his source. And then we could just forget about the HM leader and just get to the source, which would be somebody in Swamp or something. And then, they could say, yeah, we did want to attack, or no, they misinterpreted, or whatever. And it would be case closed, right? It would be done instead of for that to happen. One thing I have to ask you, Thalmor, right? Because you were an HM, right? Now, I don't.
KT.
You were KT, and KT was an HM, right?
Correct.
So that would probably mean that your leader would know who the HM leader was, right?
Would Dennison know?
You could find out. You
He
try to find like not. You probably won't tell you who, but at least if he could tell you if he knows. There we go. Dennison was in chats. There you go. I don't know if he might not know just because he wasn't paying attention. Well, there you go. But he could probably find out. They'd probably let him in, and then I don't know. I just think it'd be something to get this to resolve it. I mean, if it's not resolved, I wouldn't be surprised if something to do with all this resurfaces and there's another war because of it, because they're still frustrated or something. So I don't know. I just think it might be nice to do.
Gotcha. Do you have a least favorite alliance?
I'm frustrated with Boys, but I really like his guy Arctic, right? So I don't know what to say there. Like, I really don't like Boys, but I really like Arctic. So that's all I can say there.
Yeah. All right. Well, are you open to taking questions from the audience?
Sure.
All right, audience members. You got anything for Pheonyx? You can ask them.
Why it's so important to figure out who it was in Swamp? It's not really who it was. I just want to know the truth, right? It's not the who said things. It's what really happened is what I want to know. And then just once and for all, we'll have it done. It's like, yeah, there was some alliance in Swamp that really did want to go to War of the Crack, or no, it was just a misinterpretation, and then we're done. I don't know the order. Why did I leave FSR? I left FSR because the leader of FSR is called Mao Zedong, and if anybody knows the history, Mao Zedong was the Chinese leader. And I didn't really want to bring it up with him because I'm just tired of. I didn't want to get like booted again or something from like I was in TFP. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just leave, and then I won't get booted. So that was that.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Who do you think the best alliance in politics and war is, and why?
I have a soft spot for Tyrion and his mortals, but I can't join them because yeah, clearly it is the Immortals. I kind of do.
The Immortals is a nice alliance.
Yeah.
And
right.
what makes them the best besides your soft
Tyrion. I really like Tyrion. I really liked our conversations that we only had for 6 days until I didn't do much, but I just thought he was somebody I could trust, and he felt really honest and genuine and all that stuff. So there you go.
No further questions, your audience.
Okay. All right. You want to go, Thalmor? I don't want you to freeze.
I'm kind of out of things to ask, and I'm almost ready to close out the show, but I didn't discuss anything real life, and I want to talk. I just want to touch on at least one thing, but I don't know what. But it wouldn't be a Thalmor radio without a really bad real life take. So what's one thing I can touch on really quick that's in the news? What is it?
So recently in the news, did you hear Google is getting out of Australia?
Really? Why?
Australia made a tax for literally links to websites.
Oh.
And Google said this is an infringement on all things media. And then I quote the Australian government, "We will not be blackmailed by a business."
Mm-hmm.
And then it spiraled into insults by a government and a large multi-billion-dollar business, because what else is going to insult at each other?
That reminds me of Poland. Poland passed a law that said that like a social media company cannot ban you for your politics, like Facebook, um, if you don't violate the rules of the platform. Or else, and if they do and they don't reinstate your account, they have to pay a $2 million fine. How enforceable such a regulation is, I don't know, but that was
It is interesting. Basically, what is planned to happen is if Google just casually leaves Australia, well, I've heard a lot of Australians say they're just going to go use Microsoft Edge. It's already pre-installed and everything.
yeah. I imagine Google's the one hurting more in that situation, so that's a little weird.
I know, right? Nothing like saying great for business than removing 350 million customers.
Hmm. All right. On one hand, I'm happy that a corporation is losing money, but on the other hand, I don't like governments. So like the Australian government passing a tax on law on links, that's a little weird. But oh well. Um, why you hate corporations? I don't like big tech companies more specifically. I like shop local, buy from local people. Google's a big monopoly in a lot of things. So I don't like. The law is dumb. Yeah, I agree, Borg. Yep. Yeah, Mr. C, I hate governments and corporations. That's about right. I recently became an anarchist prodigum, like basically a month ago. I was pretty conservative, but I heard lots of compelling arguments, and yeah, there's this guy I follow named Michael Malice, who's an author, and he does like podcasts and stuff, and he's a very interesting person, but his arguments for anarchism are really compelling, I think. Prod E Gum. All right.
As
So
your chat
that's about
yells,
it.
as your chat yells at me, I take it back. Australia's like 25.6 million.
Yeah, didn't you see like 350 million or something?
Look, I thought for the country that size, should be right.
It should be, but well, most of it's desert though. It's just a big desert island.
I mean, have you stared at California?
um, yeah, 350 million. That's more U.S. I thought Nuki. I thought you meant like you were trying to say like 30 million or something, which is close to Australia.
No, I just threw a random number out there that sounded correct in my head. It's still removing a lot of customers, no matter how you're looking at it.
Yeah.
You're basically looking at an entire. You are looking at an entire country, not even basically. You straight up are telling an entire country, no more using my product. That's not going to go too well. The EU is already trying to casually milk Google for money and pissing off one of the Commonwealth thingies. It's not helping.
I support like libertarian ideas and everything. Anything that can reduce the size of the state is good. But I don't think libertarianism is the answer because it's always just a slow progression back to the status quo, which bullshit. And I don't think if we actually had like a form of anarchism, I don't think it would immediately go back into an authoritarian situation. But it's never been tried, so and it probably won't be possible for a long time.
The only thing anarchism ever really brought forward, honestly, is essentially brings forward a different form of government. Because from anarchy, government's essentially born. However, anarchy is more or less everyone down to their bare bone morals. So depending on how people are going to treat that environment depends on who you are. As a former soldier, personally, I'd help someone if I see that I need help. It's just how I be. I'm an Italian. I served in the military. I have that. That's my personal moral system. If someone's needing like a hand, go and offer it. But
So I think.
never
Sorry,
mind.
Nokia, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say that as I walk around the streets some days, and I'll be struggling to do something. Like I work in a docking yard right now, and as I'm lifting some really abnormally large box because I can lift it, basically, I'd probably love some help. But half the other guys are gonna look at me and walk right past, and maybe 1 out of 30 will stop and help me.
Someone said something. I forgot what it was. Oh, it was Nokia who said that like if he, as a former soldier, he would like to help people in need. An interesting situation we saw last year was after George Floyd died and you had the riots, and you had this situation where there were two truths, which was number one, the police will not help you. The police are not going to come and stop your business from being vandalized by this crowd. But also, number two, you are not allowed to use a gun to protect yourself from the mob either, as you saw with, say, Kyle Rittenhouse. So, like, your shit's going to be wrecked and you can't defend yourself, but you still got to pay taxes to pay our wages, and good luck. Like, I don't think that would happen under a free market because there would be consequences, whereas now there are no consequences because the state has a monopoly on force. And when it was put to me that way, that made a lot of sense. I was thinking, oh,
As a former soldier, if I'm used to use hand-to-hand combat to defend myself, I could actually go to jail.
mm-hmm.
Something about how you shouldn't use hand-to-hand military combat training to defend yourself against civilians, but I mean, if I'm the one getting mugged, I mean, what else am I supposed to use?
Well, I think if you use if you get into a street fight, it's probably okay unless you like knock the guy hard in the head and he like falls in the cement and on his back and suffers brain damage. He goes to a coma. It's
I've
only if
met
weapons are used that the police are really going to be interested. I
if
mean,
someone
there are municipalities with like mutual combat laws in which, as long as there's like a neutral party, people can fight it
I
out, which is pretty
know
based.
Texas has a lot of those. Fisticuffs still being a way to handle stuff in Texas sounds really cool. But for Washington D.C., if you are getting mugged and you harm the mugger, you are at fault if the mugger didn't harm you enough.
And there are also situations where someone can like try to attack you, and if you use a gun and shoot and kill them, you're the one who goes to jail for murder. There's situations where, like, if someone breaks into your house and you shoot them but don't kill them, they can like sue you for medical expenses. Like, just this is complete nonsense. And it's also another, I think, good argument for anarchy.
The only reason that I know those laws are a thing in DC is because I almost was mugged once, and I very quickly decided that I was not about to go down that way. So
Yeah.
I also
Shoot.
found out that as a military personnel, putting my hands on other people when they're trying to shank me is a big no-no. But I mean, I don't like being stabbed. I'm allergic to sharp, pointy metal.
And some people in chat are saying this, and I want to say, like, ideally, if you are forced to shoot someone, you shouldn't have to be in a situation where you have to kill them, or else it could go worse for you. I think it's reasonable to assume that like guns should be used as a tool and not as automatically as a murder weapon or to kill a person. But the way laws are in some areas, you pretty much do have to shoot and kill them, or else it could come back to bite you later, and that's nonsense. It shouldn't be that. That being said, here's the Thalmor pro tip for the night. If someone is attacking you and you are in fear for your life, shoot the fuck out of them, kill them, make them dead. That's the base thing to do. And there's your Thalmor pro violence tip for the night.
In the state of Idaho, so long as you're looking them dead in the face and they are trespassing on private property, if you are polite enough to shoot one singular warning shot, you can shoot the next bullet wherever you want.
I think warning shots are like big no-nos. Don't do warning shots.
In the state of Idaho, on private property, it's legal because it's perceived as a warning shot to trespassers, not a warning shot to cause harm.
Interesting. Well, generally though, don't do warning shots. Those
Yeah, if you're not in a
Avoiding
really
bad.
redneck backwoods state, don't do
Someone said something I want else to respond to. Oh, Borg said the dilemma is you don't know if they have intention or capability to do you harm. I don't know about that one, Borg. Um, for example, with George Zimmerman, that's a big reason why he got acquitted was because Trayvon Martin had him on his back, like slamming the back of his head against the cement. Like, it doesn't exactly have to be the most obvious. And of course, if you're genuinely in fear for your life, it's like you don't have that time to decide is this guy actually coming after me or not, or how badly can he hurt me. Like you are in fight or flight mode. So if they are actually causing you harm, that's not the limit. Yeah. And excuse me, weapon. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. There are examples of people shooting, quote, in self-defense, in which it's clearly not self-defense. I can't remember the name of the people involved, but at this gas station, this guy parked in a handicap space. And this other guy, this guy who lived next to the gas station, confronted him about him parking in a handicap space. And the guy who parked in the space shoved the guy to the ground. And the guy on the ground pulled out his gun and shot and killed the guy who parked in the handicap space. And the guy who fired the gun, he went to prison. I think he has a life sentence. And I think that makes sense because you can't instigate events to happen. You can't instigate a situation in which you have to shoot to kill. And I think that's pretty reasonable. Lord Tyrion, I was at Walmart Wednesday. This was the same day I did my alcohol haul, and I saw this knife, and I want to post it. That's funny, Shifty. That makes me laugh. That's good.
There
I
is
liked that one.
I know there's some states that actually have restraint laws. So if someone's trying to mug you, if you can put them in a headlock and make them pass out, it's the only legal way. But I mean, if they have a knife, well, you probably don't want to go next to them in the first place.
I posted these are some knives I saw at Walmart, and I don't know. I guess if you're having like a kitchen that's a weird theme, it works. But I don't know what circumstance you would want a knife like that. Femboy knife. Oh man! I told my mom it's a knife if your kitchen is themed after like a psychedelic trip. CS:GO knife. There you go.
Kitchen on LSD.
Do you guys think kitchen knives are effective murder weapons? They're long, like they're really big, but I feel like they would snap at the handle if you really got into the weeds with them, you know?
As someone who grew up in a kitchen, essentially, because my father owned a restaurant, if you take the time to properly sharpen your knives, hell yes. But if you're 90% of America and fail to sharpen your knives, no. Too dull.
I write a fictional story that's post-apocalyptic, and some people use kitchen knives as like backup weapon. I think that'd be effective. Thank you guys. This Thalmor pro-violence tip 2: use a kitchen knife. So as you're fighting for your life against your attacker, after you shoot him, if that fails, stab him with your kitchen knife. There you go. It's more like a collection of like little stories. It's just something I have in a note. Okay, I will explain it. So this story, and it's less a story. It's more a collection of stories, and it's something I've been working on for 12 years, and I've actually typed out very little of it. It's something I like to just think about. But it's a post-apocalyptic setting. It takes place in Pulaski County, which is where I grew up, in Kentucky, and it's called the Pulaski Conflict. And you have four sides. You have the town of Eubank, which is controlled by this lawful good paramilitary group of like Marines. And then you have the government of Pulaski County, which are these evil authoritarians, and they're very lightly equipped, and they wear orange. That's like the county color. But they're shitty soldiers, and they have like this bloated bureaucracy. It's basically the Imperium of Man from Warhammer 40k. Whereas the troops in Eubank have like bulletproof armor and stuff, but there's only a few of them. They're like small but elite, right? So they're like the Space Marines from Warhammer 40k. You have rebels out in the east, which form the Republic of Pulaski, and they broke off because the county of Pulaski is too authoritarian. And then in Somerset, like the southern half of Somerset, you have the United Gang Front, which is a collection of gangs that kind of form their own society, and they're also like fighting against the government of Pulaski. So it's a really cringy story, but it's really fun to work on because I developed this universe, and it's fun to work on. And I actually have like let me tell you how much detail I put into this fucking thing. Like I detailed out the specific like how like the Pulaski County, how its army is organized. It's 3,000 soldiers, and you got like, here's a regiment of conscripts, and here's the and then like the conscript division third company has like it's I've put a autistic level of detail into this thing. But I have very little of it actually typed out, so none of you would probably ever see it, just because to just begin to explain the world would take a long time. But maybe I will actually turn it into something, because there's a lot to this world I've created. I've been thinking about making a story about my alliance, because why not go for it? There's nothing wrong with the politics and work community developing art based around it. That's how you know a community of something is alive, if people make art for it, and I think that's really good. Yes, Borg, isn't a military government also authoritarian? Yeah, the Pulaski County has a very authoritarian government. And they claim the whole county, but they only exert power from like the northern half of Somerset to outside of Eubank. And like the elite soldiers in Eubank are called Kybers. But then you have the town of Eubank, which is its own separate thing, but they're best friends with the Kybers. And Eubank also has its own little militia that's also I've also autistically organized and thought out. And yeah, it's fun. And most situations I think of usually involve like the fucking Pulaski County soldiers just dying in mass. 'Cause like I said, they're like the Imperium of Man, Warhammer 40k, the Imperial Guard. There's a lot of them, but they're lightly equipped, and they got low morale, and they're just kind of shitty. So they're not chatting Michael Jordan because they're actually listening intently. I think that's what's going on, funny enough. Let's see here. All right. Do you guys want to hear more about this county world I've built, or are you guys ready for me to end the show? I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you guys want? Continue. You guys want to hear? Okay, sure. So, oh goodness. The reason why the world is post-apocalyptic is vague, and it's intentionally that way. Yes, Zig, you can end the recording. That's fine. Play the theme. Then we can end the recording. And I'll keep talking about this thing.